You're sitting at a restaurant with friends, and when the check comes, everyone pulls out their credit cards without thinking twice. You watch as they order appetizers, entrees, drinks, dessert, easily $70 per person, and nobody flinches. They're talking about the new cars they just leased, the designer bags they bought on sale, their upcoming vacation booked on credit. Meanwhile, you drove here in a paid-off 2018 Honda. You're wearing a nice but non-designer outfit, and you ordered carefully because you're being intentional with your spending. And for a moment, you feel behind. You feel like you're the only one not living your best life. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. Those friends are likely broke. They look successful, but they're drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and one emergency away from financial disaster. And you might actually be financially ahead of almost everyone you know, but you don't recognize it because real wealth doesn't look like Instagram. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 counterintuitive signs that you're actually winning financially, even if it doesn't feel like it, so you can stop comparing yourself to people who are losing and stay focused on the path that actually builds wealth. And today, I'm revealing the 3 specific indicators that separate people who are genuinely building wealth from people who just look wealthy, so you'll know whether you're on the right track or getting distracted by the wrong metrics. So let's get into it. And please make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Here's the thing. We've been conditioned to associate wealth with visible consumption: luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive homes, exotic vacations. But according to research from Thomas Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door, which studied thousands of actual millionaires, most wealthy people don't look wealthy. The study found that the average millionaire drives a car that's 3 to 6 years old, not brand new, lives in a home worth less than 3 times their annual income, wears affordable clothing brands, shops at regular grocery stores, and doesn't carry credit card debt. Meanwhile, the people who look wealthy, driving $80,000 luxury SUVs, wearing designer everything, living in expensive neighborhoods, often have negative or minimal net worth. They're what the book calls big hat, no cattle, all image and no substance. According to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, approximately 30% of households earning $100,000 per year have less than $10,000 in liquid savings. They earn 6 figures, but they're financially fragile. Real wealth is invisible. It lives in bank accounts, investment portfolios, and paid-off assets, not in designer logos and social media posts. The 3 signs I'm about to show you are the real indicators of financial success. And if you have even 2 of these 3 signs, you're ahead of 80% of people in your income bracket. The first sign you're financially ahead is that your lifestyle today looks more like what someone earning your salary from 3 to 5 years ago would have, not what someone earning your current salary typically has. Let me explain what I mean. Let's say 5 years ago, you were making $55,000 per year, living in an $1,100 per month apartment, driving a paid-off used car, and spending modestly. Now you're making $85,000 per year, a 55% increase. The average person would have immediately upgraded, moved to an $1,800 per month apartment, leased a new car for $450 per month, started eating out more, buying nicer clothes, and taking expensive vacations. But you didn't. You're still in a similar apartment, maybe $1,300 now due to market increases, still driving the same car or a modest upgrade paid in cash, still living relatively modestly. This is called living behind your income, and it's the #1 predictor of wealth accumulation. Here's the math that proves why this matters. Person A's lifestyle matches income. Income grew from $55,000 to $85,000 over 5 years. Spending grew from $48,000 to $72,000, and average annual savings were $10,000, resulting in $494,000 after 20 years invested at 8%. Person B lives behind their income. Same income trajectory, but spending stayed at $52,000, with only modest inflation-adjusted increases. Average annual savings were $18,000, resulting in $889,000 after 20 years at 8%. Person B has $395,000 more wealth with the exact same income, all from controlling lifestyle inflation. Psychologically, living behind your income feels weird because you're surrounded by people spending at their income level. You feel like you're falling behind socially. You question if you're being too cheap or missing out on life. But the reality is, those people spending at their income level are on a hedonic treadmill where every time income increases, spending increases, and they never feel secure. You're building actual wealth and freedom while they're building a more expensive prison. Ask yourself this. If I lost my job today, how much of my lifestyle could I maintain on 60% of my current income? If the answer is most of it, you're living behind your income. If the answer is almost none, you're caught in the lifestyle inflation trap. The second sign you're financially ahead, and this one is deeply counterintuitive, is that you often feel broke or cash poor despite having a growing net worth. When you're aggressively building wealth, most of your income is being automatically redirected to savings, investments, and debt payoff before you have a chance to spend it, which means your checking account often feels empty even though your net worth is climbing. You might have $150,000 in retirement accounts, $20,000 in emergency savings, and a paid off car worth $15,000, but you look at your checking account and see $1,200 and think you're broke. You're not broke. You're wealthy but illiquid. Your money is working for you instead of sitting idle waiting to be spent. Meanwhile, people who feel rich because they always have $3,000 to $4,000 sitting in checking are usually not building wealth at all. That money is just waiting to be spent on the next thing that catches their eye. There's a concept in behavioral economics called mental accounting, where we treat money differently based on where it's located. Money in checking feels like spending money. Money in investments feels like don't touch money. Wealthy people maximize the don't touch buckets and minimize the spending money bucket. They feel broke in their checking but rich in their net worth, while broke people feel rich when checking is high, but their net worth is stagnant or negative. Real example. Sarah makes $72,000 per year. She automatically contributes 15% to her 401k, $500 per month to a Roth IRA, $400 per month to savings, and $300 per month extra towards student loan payoff. That's $2,100 per month that never hits her checking account. Her take home after these automatic transfers is only about $2,500 per month for all expenses. She often feels tight on money and has to say no to expensive social activities, but her net worth is increasing by $25,200 per year plus investment growth. Her coworker Mike makes the same salary, but only contributes the 3% minimum to get his employer match. He has $4,200 per month available to spend. He feels financially comfortable, and he always has money for concerts, dinners, and new gadgets. In 10 years, Sarah will have a net worth over $300,000, while Mike will have about $45,000. Sarah feels broke. Mike feels comfortable. Sarah is winning. Look at your checking account. If it's usually between $1,000 and $3,000 and you're consistently saving 20% or more of your income, you have this sign. If you always have $5,000 or more just sitting and checking, you're probably not maximizing wealth building. The third sign you're financially ahead is that your financial decisions confuse, frustrate, or are outright criticized by friends and family. People don't understand why you drive an older, paid-off car when you could afford a new one, why you live in a modest apartment when you could afford something bigger, why you say no to expensive social events, why you don't buy the latest phone or fashion trends, or why you seem obsessed with saving and investing. They think you're being cheap, missing out on life, or refusing to enjoy your money. They say things like, "You only live once, stop being so tight. What's the point of making money if you don't spend it? You're young, you should enjoy yourself." Here's what most people don't realize. That criticism is actually proof you're doing it right. According to research on social conformity, humans have a strong psychological need to match the behavior of their peer group. And when you behave differently, especially when you're more disciplined than the group norm, the group experiences cognitive dissonance. Your behavior implies their behavior might be wrong, which makes them uncomfortable. So they criticize you to resolve that dissonance. Consumer culture has also conditioned people to equate spending with success and happiness. So when you reject that framework, it threatens their entire worldview. The people criticizing your financial discipline are usually broke, living paycheck to paycheck with minimal savings and high debt, and their advice is worth exactly what you'd expect from broke people. To build wealth, you have to be willing to look less successful than you could in order to become more successful than you look. You drive the modest car while investing aggressively. You live in the smaller home while building a $500,000 portfolio. And you wear normal clothes while becoming a millionaire. In 10 to 20 years, the roles reverse. Your financially disciplined lifestyle today becomes financial freedom tomorrow, while their live for today lifestyle becomes financial stress for the rest of their lives. David and his wife make a combined $130,000. They live in a modest three-bedroom house with a $1,600 monthly mortgage, drive paid-off cars, rarely eat out, and don't take expensive vacations. Their friends, earning similar incomes, live in $400,000 homes, drive leased luxury vehicles, and take international trips while posting constantly on social media. Those friends think David is wasting his income. But David has $185,000 in retirement accounts at age 38, a $40,000 emergency fund, zero debt except his mortgage, and a net worth of $265,000, while his friends have $60,000 in retirement accounts, $3,000 in savings, $45,000 in various debts, and a net worth of just $18,000. David will retire a multimillionaire at age 55. His friends will work until 70 and struggle in retirement. If you've been criticized or made to feel cheap for financial decisions that objectively build wealth, you have this sign. Let me give you the validation that nobody else will give you. If you have 2 or 3 of these signs, you are financially ahead of most people in America, regardless of what it looks like or feels like. You're living below your means while your income grows. You feel cash poor, but your net worth is climbing, and your peers criticize your financial discipline. These are the actual markers of financial success, not the car you drive or the brand on your clothes. According to Federal Reserve data, median net worth for Americans under 35 is $13,900. For ages 35 to 44, it's $91,300, and for ages 45 to 54, it's $168,600. If you're under 35 with a net worth over $50,000, you're ahead. If you're in your late 30s with over $150,000, you're ahead. If you're in your 40s with over $300,000, you're crushing it. But you won't feel like you're ahead because you're surrounded by people who look wealthier than you. They're not. They're just better at performing wealth while you're actually building it. So what do you do with this information? Step 1. Stop comparing your financial reality to other people's performance. You don't know anyone else's full financial picture. The person driving the $70,000 SUV might have $80,000 in debt and $2,000 in savings. So stop using visible consumption as your benchmark for success. Step 2, use net worth as your scorecard, not income or spending. Track your net worth quarterly, and if it's growing consistently, even slowly, you're winning. Step 3, embrace feeling behind socially. If you feel like you can't keep up with your peers' spending, that's good because it means you're making different choices that lead to actual wealth instead of the appearance of wealth. Step 4, find your financial tribe. Seek out people who share your values around money through online communities, local meetups, or financial independence groups, and surround yourself with people who are also choosing wealth building over status signaling. Step 5, protect your financial discipline from social pressure. When friends pressure you to spend on things that don't align with your goals, have a simple response ready, like, "That's not in my budget right now," or "I'm focusing on other financial priorities," because you don't owe anyone an explanation. Let me paint a picture of where this leads. 10 years from now, your friends who criticized your so-called cheap lifestyle are still making car payments, still carrying credit card balances, still living paycheck to paycheck despite earning six figures, stressed about money and starting to panic about retirement. You have a net worth approaching $500,000 to $750,000. You could semi-retire if you wanted. You have options. And you're not stressed about money because you built a real foundation. 20 years from now, your friends are in their 50s, realizing they're nowhere near ready for retirement, cutting back spending, trying to save aggressively, wishing they had started earlier, and some are planning to work into their 70s. You're a millionaire multiple times over, retiring early, or working because you want to, not because you have to, able to help your kids, support causes you care about, and live life entirely on your terms. The sacrifices you made in your 30s and 40s, driving the used car, living modestly, saying no to lifestyle inflation, bought you freedom for the rest of your life. Their living life to the fullest approach bought them financial stress for the rest of theirs. I know it's hard to stay disciplined when everyone around you seems to be living better than you. I know it's frustrating to feel broke when you're making decent money. I know that criticism from friends and family can make you question whether you're doing the right thing. But the three signs I've shown you today are proof that you're winning. You're not behind, you're ahead. You're not missing out, you're building something they'll never have. The difference between people who build wealth and people who stay broke isn't income, it's the willingness to look less successful than you could in order to become more successful than you look. And if you have two or three of these signs, you're doing exactly that. Calculate your net worth right now if you haven't recently, assets minus liabilities, and know your real number because that's your actual scorecard, not your Instagram feed. Write down one financial decision you made recently that your peers questioned or criticized, and write next to it these words: "This is building wealth." Reframe the criticism as confirmation that you're doing it right. Comment below with which of the three signs you have, and let's build a community of people who are choosing real wealth over performed wealth so others know they're not alone. Share this video with someone you know who's doing things right financially but feels behind because they're comparing themselves to broke people who look rich. And if you want weekly reminders that real wealth doesn't look like social media and that you are on the right path, subscribe to this channel because I'm here every week validating your good decisions and calling out the noise that keeps most people broke. You're ahead. Trust the process. Stay the course. Thanks for watching.